it was mostly us looking the other way while they cut, tens of thousands of jobs. And acting like that was the answer.
I think they used it as an excuse to cut jobs, and I think we let them.
See, but I mean, that's not an answer that's good for, I think, the American public or really for the auto industry. And I think it's blaming the wrong people. In both instances, and it's not using the leverage that we had in the situation to make these institutions serve the people better.
It's kind of funny. This is kind of a tangent. But the auto industry themselves had their own sort of day in the sun back in the day. I mean, if we look at the infrastructure of our nation, it was designed pretty much in favor, almost entirely in favor of the auto industry. The whole car-centered cities and everything. We went to we went to a lot of effort to accommodate the auto industry in the way we've designed our neighborhoods and the way we've fashioned our lifestyles. I mean, people devote hours of their day just to driving around. I mean, thousands of people die each year in car crashes. People live long distances away from their workplace. There's all sorts of smog and all this problems. I mean, this is, that's, I think, if the auto industry has to bite it, that's okay. But I mean, they had their day in the sun. They captured the nation for some time. At least the auto industry was like a real economic thing rather than the finance industry, which is just hand waving, at least in its largesse now.
To kind of wrap it up, regulatory capture, what do we do about it?
We capture the capturers.
I think everybody has a part in this in terms of like increasing accountability, increasing transparency. Now, since government is not transparent, that means it's up to individuals to find things and talk about them because, we're the transparency now. It's not the media anymore. We can't count on the media to be transparency. We can't count on the media to call for accountability. So, I mean, if we can't fix the media, and I'm not sure that we can, then it's really up to every single person to kind of be their own, accountability system, their own transparency system. I know that's a huge burden for people, but I mean, that's the reality of the situation now.
So if we can't fix the media, do you think we can replace the media?
I think there will always be a media what we need, and it's not the media is the problem. I mean the media is not the problem, or if the media is a problem, and it is a problem, it's a symptom of the problem. What we need people, individuals. Somebody's got a phone call there, but we need individuals to, when they vote, they need to ask themselves, who bought my vote? Who is paying for me to vote this way? And when they do other things, when they buy something, they need to ask, who is paying for me to buy this? And we need to have people aware of the interests that seek to control their personal actions, if not the actions of the government as well. I mean, and when they see the media, they need to ask, okay, where is this media getting their money from? Who do they work for? Do they work for me, or do they work for their advertisers? Having a good media, it relies on vigilance of the viewers. I think one positive attribute of the internet is that it's sort of allowed for some of that to spring up. But yeah, the onus is on the individual to make sure that the institutions that work for them, the government, etc., are actually doing the job.
Now, one thing I also wanted to say, seems like people like Glenn Beck, for example, have kind of this power to call people out in the government and make them disappear, right? Like with Van Jones. Then he set his sights on Anita Dunn and, started with the whole, it is totally ridiculous. He decided she was a Maoist and that she loved Mao and wanted to get her to call the show and put a guy dressed as Mao. They've got, I guess, an actor who's dressed up as Mao being paid to just sit there and wait for a phone call that they know will never come, right? But the point is, these people seem to have this power to basically make shit up about people and make them disappear from the administration. Couldn't we do the same thing with people who have a conflict of interest and say, look, these people have a conflict of interest. They shouldn't be in the government. We need to get rid of, some of these financial guys in Obama's administration.
We should, but the difference is that the guys, the bankers, they're strong. Then the Obama administration is weak. It's not like Glenn Beck is making them being kicked out. It's just that the Obama administration is a bunch of weaklings. They want to keep their careers in perpetuity. They want to get a job in the private sector later. They want everybody to like them and feel all happy and fuzzy and be warm and not offend anybody. And they don't realize that politics is not a game played successfully by the weak. You need to have the politics of strength. And if Glenn Beck can say, oh, well, this person's a communist in the Obama administration, and then they suddenly, they're like, oh, I gotta resign now, then fine, fuck them. They were weak to begin with. We don't need their shit. If somebody's gonna, just cave in, or if the administration is gonna cave in because somebody calls them a communist, then good riddance. Get rid of him. Let Glenn Beck have his field day and do his misspellings of oligarchy or whatever.
Oligarch, the one that's missing is why.
No, but that seems to me more like the person that we need to get rid of the administration, not the people that are being fired over this stuff because the administration is weak.
Well, eventually we'll get rid of him after Glenn Beck calls out everybody a communist. Then, well, I don't know what we'll be stuck with then. Probably something worse, huh?
See, a lot of people think that the administration is weak. I think that they're actually just very, very calculating, but I just don't approve very much of their calculations. I think, why did they let Van Jones go? Because they didn't think that he had much of a constituency, and, he was causing them a lot of problems. So, they look at it, and it's like, well, this is a net loss, and so they cut him go. They cut him loose. They don't think about, what that says about them. They don't think about, how this will change people's perception of the administration. They just, look at it as a very, I think, narrow and short-sighted political calculation. This guy is a net loss for us politically. He causes us more problems than he gets us support. And so he's gone. And Dunn was like a total no-brainer. She was out there to be axed at the first sign of trouble anyway, and I'm sure she knew that. So, in both cases, I think.
Yeah, she was kind of melting off.
Yeah, and she floated a trial balloon for the administration. She got slapped down, and then she got fired. I think that's just par for the course. I don't think that's significant. The problem is that there's nobody, I think, with kind of a real honest view of government. Let's not use honest. A more unclouded view, a more people-centric view of government, who has the kind of platform that Glenn Beck does to represent, various corporate and crazy interests.
Well, okay, but do you think enough popular opposition could make some of these financial guys a net loss, as you said?
I don't know.
It's a good question. Only if we vote.
I don't think Geithner has many friends. I don't think Bernanke has many friends. But they seem like they're very firm in standing by these people. So I think that there's something going on there. There's some aspect of the political calculus that we're not getting.